Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. And before we get to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast, I want to talk to you about Health IQ. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance for health-conscious people. So if you're living an overall healthy lifestyle, you have a 60% lower risk of mortality than someone who isn't. Whether you're a runner, cyclist, vegan, you name it, Health IQ rewards you by saving you money on your life insurance. More than half of Health IQ customers save between 4 and 33%, and these savings are exclusive to Health IQ. So to learn more and see if you qualify, get your free quote at healthiq.com/crazy and mention the promo code CRAZY when you talk to a Health IQ agent. Now let's get to the show.
Is that why you wear that Life hoodie today?
No, they spell it regular life.
Oh, but still.
Yeah.
They just give you life, health insurance.
Life insurance.
Life insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out life. Yo, special bonus podcast. Reggie Bush. He's joining us right now. We talk about a lot of fun stuff. Enjoy the bonus podcast. Make sure you subscribe and comment, follow at Maybe Crazy Pod on everything. Enjoy. All right, we're joined by Reggie Bush. Welcome.
Thank you.
You look very academic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I was on NFL Network yesterday, and I didn't dress my best, so I was like, I'm gonna change it up today.
Okay.
I tried something different yesterday.
You didn't dress your best?
I wore like a shirt, and rather than tucking it in, I let it like hang out with the jacket over top. I saw somebody else do it. It didn't work for me. So I was like, I'm gonna dress nice today.
Well, at least you're taking, you're taking fashion risks.
It didn't work out. Yeah,
right?
I took a risk.
You got the
it didn't work out.
reddish shoes going.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good look. So you joined us on Undisputed.
Yep.
And you were a very high draft pick, which worked out very well for the Saints and yourself. And there's talk of Saquon Barkley. The combine is underway.
Yeah.
The Browns are obviously an option for him.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, look, all right. I don't like Cleveland. All right, everyone knows this. Okay, I'm from Pittsburgh. I don't like Cleveland. Whatever. I don't think saying that the Browns are a terrible organization is outlandish because they have proven to be that. It's not a hot
Consistently.
take. Consistently.
Yes, they've been consistent.
Jewish measurement of performance.
Consistency.
Yes, and they've consistently lost.
Yeah.
So if I'm an NFL prospect, I do not want to go to the Browns.
100%.
I think if you're a top prospect, I think I'm okay with you saying I don't want to go to the Browns.
Yeah.
I won't even judge anybody at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't judge you for that either. I mean, when you win one game in 2 years, I mean, you actually have to try hard to do that. You have to try hard to be that bad. And I think it falls on coaching. You know what I mean? When it's that level, that falls on coaching because this is the NFL. It's a league of all-stars. Everybody at some point was All-American in high school and college and all those things. So you have good players there, and they have good players. They need some more pieces, but I know they've been talking about drafting another quarterback. It's just like, how many times are you going to do this? Like, how many times are you going to draft a quarterback in the first round?
I think they have to keep doing that until they get it right. But to your point,
no.
What do you mean?
That's not how.
I don't think they should do that.
That's not how it works?
Just build around Kaiser.
Yes, build around him. Give him a shot. You only got 1
This,
year.
This one with the Notre Dame.
I'm just saying. Look, I know he's right here, but I'm just saying. Period. You got at some point in time, you got to stop blowing up your entire locker room by drafting a first round quarterback every year.
So you think Deshaun Kaiser is the guy?
I'm not saying he's the guy, but I'm saying, man, give him a shot. Like, don't just do the one and done because a year ago, everybody was calling Jared Goff a bust, right?
Well,
when he was with Jeff Fisher.
But it was just Jeff Fisher.
But what were they saying about Jared Goff too? They were saying there were people saying he was a bust, like he wasn't the guy they thought he would be.
Eric Dickerson wasn't one of those people because he knew that Jeff Fisher
had to go,
not a winner.
And then you enter
Sean
McVay.
Yeah.
And now it's just like this is what it's supposed to be like. This is the Jared Goff we all thought he could be. You know what I mean? So I think there's examples of that throughout the league. Case Keenum, right? Before this year, Case Keenum was just a backup quarterback guy, and maybe he still is, but you saw what good coaching can do for teams, right? Good coaching can do for players. And I think the same thing. They need good. I don't know. Maybe they need to start having an NFL draft for coaches. Shit.
So, so do you not believe in Hugh Jackson, or do
I like Hugh Jackson.
You think it's above him?
I like Hugh Jackson, but results speak facts, right? We all respect winning in this game, and
unless you're the Bengals.
And I'm a Hugh Jackson fan. and I know him well. I know him personally. I played against him a number of times, and every time I see him, it's always cordial. It will always be that. But at the end of the day, he's not getting the job done over there. So, and he knows that, and it falls on the shoulders of everybody in that organization. And to me, it starts with the owner. It starts with the leadership of the organization, and that trickles down, to everybody else. The way you approach the day, your practices, the way you approach the games, the way you approach, recovery, rest, everything. The way that you handle business starts from the top on down.
Yeah, I would have to tend to agree with that. The Browns have been pretty stinky for a long time. But so where do you think that if he doesn't go to the Browns, God willing, God bless,
Giants.
Saquon?
I think he should go Giants.
Okay, so we had...
I've been saying Giants for a long time.
We had Snacks Harrison on last week. Mm-hmm. Healthy Snacks. That's actually his name now.
Yeah.
He's given up dairy and meat.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
Can we call him Snacks anymore? Healthy Snacks.
Vegan Snacks.
Vegan Snacks, yes. He's going to be vegan eventually.
Yeah.
Giants were just dumpster fire.
They were bad
last year.
Yeah.
I hated what they did to Eli Manning.
Me too.
Well, I'm not a huge McAdoo, no eyebrows McAdoo fan to begin with. But,
Yeah.
Look, he lost all of his receivers. And I didn't blame what happened on Eli anyway, but I thought what they did to him was atrocious with the Geno Smith thing.
That's what got him the boot. That's what got McAdoo the boot was doing
that. It's like
that.
an old story, but it does bother me because I don't care about the Giants or Eli Manning, but like it was ridiculous. The one thing that they have going for them is the consistency at quarterback. Eli Manning has been the face of that organization. He's got this unbelievable streak going, and you break it for Geno Smith. Like, no disrespect to Geno Smith, but who the bleep is Geno Smith? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Are you insane? I really thought like maybe they just lost their minds for a second. Like, sometimes people just go crazy, and there's no explanation for it. What did you think when that happened?
I thought the same thing everybody else thought. Like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, this is, like you said, Eli has a streak going, and if you had a rookie behind him that you just wanted to kind of see, but you didn't. Like, you didn't have a guy behind Eli that you thought, okay, this could be.
Well, they had Davis
potentially,
Webb, but they didn't go to him.
Right. Exactly. And they went to Geno Smith, and nothing towards Geno Smith, but he just no.
Shouts out to Geno Smith. He's still getting these checks in the league.
Yeah,
he could have disappeared a long time ago.
Backup quarterbacks get paid now.
It's a good life.
Yeah.
Matt Moore has a very good life.
Yeah, he does.
Matt Moore. Shouts out
Matt Moore.
Shout out Matt Moore.
A lot of money for a long time.
Yes, he has. And backup quarterback, if you are a backup quarterback that really never has to play, you're always a hero.
Right. Yeah.
Because you never get the opportunity to be that guy that everybody hates.
Yes.
So speaking of a guy who's very consistent, Drew Brees, Saints had I thought it was going to be Saints Patriots Super Bowl. It turned out to be the one thing I'm wrong about in every 10 years. So it wasn't. But it did. In my defense, it took a literal miracle.
Yes.
For that to happen.
It did.
Did you feel for them?
Yeah, I did. I felt really bad because it's just one of those plays that, listen, when you as a kid, when you growing up and you always dream of certain things, I have to imagine as a defensive player, one of your dreams is like to make the game-winning tackle, to take you to the NFC Championship or to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that had to be a nightmare for that kid. You know what I mean? And he handled the media. I saw his post-game interviews. I thought he handled it well. I thought he did a good job, just handling all the criticism, everything that came along with that. And listen, it happened. It's over. And none of us are perfect, and it's easy to criticize a guy from afar, right? It's easy to criticize a guy when you're not in that situation. But at the end of the day, he knew that he messed up. He knew that he should have been better. And that's it. That's all you can take away from that, man.
Yeah, that's.
I felt really bad, though, terrible. I was actually on air when it happened at NFL Network, and I got up and walked off. Middle of the show, I got up and walked off. Yeah, I needed just a second just to dissect what was happening right now.
It's so rough. I did feel for him.
Yeah.
But I thought everybody handled it really
I thought so too.
Classy.
Yeah.
It's easy to lose your mind. We were discussing before we started recording how little patience the two of us have. Brandon's a Saint, so he's different. Yeah. He's cut from different cloth. But Drew Brees, they were that close.
Yeah.
So do you think that they will be able to do that? Because the NFC is
strong right now.
Strong.
I think they'll be able to get back to the playoffs, and then what they do after that is up to them. I think they need to add one or two pieces to the puzzle on defense.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they need a linebacker. They need to go out and get a linebacker. So I think they need to add some more pieces on defense because listen, Drew has proven that whoever you give him, he's gonna make them better, right, on offense, right? Yeah. Like every receiver that he's played with has had over 1,000 yards. You know what I mean? And so in all the the running backs, they're set there. Maybe give them an offensive line, but you give Drew some more pieces on that defense to get them the ball back even more than what they did this year. That's how we won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Because we were getting turnovers. We got turnovers after turnovers after turnovers every game, and that was our staple, and it proved to be that in the Super Bowl. So yeah.
What do you think about what Mark Ingram's been able to do though? Like, the resurgence of the running backs has been a big deal this year.
Yes, make running backs great again.
I claim that make running backs great again. I feel like we got a lot of great rookie running backs out there right now. No.
And I think Saquon will continue to further that as well.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley. So I think what Mark Ingram has done over his career has been tremendous because he's been patient. And he's been in the system, which is one of the reasons why I asked for a trade. He's been in the systems where they like to use 3 running backs, and for a running back, you feel like I need at least this many touches to get into a rhythm, so it's hard when you get 1 carry in the first quarter, you maybe get 2 carries in the third, and then maybe 2 more in the fourth. That's tough. You can never get into a rhythm like that, so I applaud him for his patience and sticking with it because I couldn't do it. After year 5, I was like, I need to go somewhere else, and that's how I ended up in Miami.
That's which we appreciated. Yeah. That's what happened with AP.
Yeah,
down there. So, all right. So the combine is rolling right now. Did you enjoy your combine experience?
I did. I didn't test. I didn't do any of the tests there. I just did interview. Actually, sorry, I only did 1 interview. Because the other 31 NFL teams felt like they had no shot to get me. So it was pretty much clear cut. I was going to Houston at that point. So I interviewed 1 team, and that was it. And I went and did all the height and weight and stuff like that. But I didn't do any of the testing in Indianapolis.
Do you think it's more? Like every year we overly examine the combine as fans, and we just want football.
I agree.
We're like, oh my god,
it's just that dead time where you're trying to find something
and we need
interesting
content.
to talk about.
We want to watch. We want to see what's going on. But to me, the combine, and I'm not running a team, obviously. Although maybe I could run the Browns.
You could.
Yeah. Well, I could do it worse, right?
Right.
Like, just go out there and try. We won 1 game in 2 years. I at least do that. Do you think it hurts some guys?
The combine?
Yeah. Because you have tape on these guys.
Yeah. It depends on who you are. So for me, I felt like I was going to do my pro day, all my testing at USC, and I didn't need to do it twice because the film, like you said, the tape's out there. The film don't lie. So I knew I was going to test well. So I felt like I didn't need to do it twice. So I did it 1 time in my own environment with the surroundings of people that I already knew. So for me, I was in a different position than some other guys. Some other guys, like I believe Sam Darnold should test. Yeah. I think he should do everything more than once to put everybody's, minds at ease of, what are the questions about him, which are accuracy, his ability to be able to read, coverages because of a lot of the interceptions that he had, this season. So I think for guys like him, I think he should go and do that because he still has a lot of things that he needs to, to answer some of those questions.
What do you think of Sam Darnold? Because I feel like all the quarterbacks in this draft kind of have some big question marks on them. We love Swaggy B, but we'll get to him in a second.
Who?
Swaggy B.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like Baker Mayfield too, man.
Let's start with Sam Darnold.
I like Sam Darnold, and he's extremely athletic. So I think he said that he's going to go and do all the athletic stuff, the drills and stuff like that. So, and he's going to do that well. Like I already know, without even having seen him, do some of the drill, I know he's going to test well because you see how athletic he is, when he plays, right? So that's never been a question is how athletic he is. You see he takes off and runs sometimes, and he can make defenders miss. How he has really good pocket awareness, in the pocket when he's standing back. So all those things translate, to he's athletic and he's going to test well. So I like him. The one thing that he has to do is mature as when he's reading coverages and when he's trying to force throws that he doesn't have to. So he's got to do a better job of that, because when you look at guys like, for example, Jameis Winston, when he was coming out of college, the knock was, he's turning his ball over too much, and you see he's still doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So that's the one area he has to improve on.
Well, that's so. What do they say? Like, you throw to the guy that's open in college, you have to throw them open in the NFL.
100%.
So,
100%. And that's the difference between the good ones in this league and the other bottom half, right? Like Tom Brady throws you open, right? Like Drew Brees and all those types of guys, they throw you open, right? But when you have other quarterbacks that you have to get open, for them to throw you the ball. Yeah. So there's a big difference.
Well, that's why I like Swaggy B. You can steal that, by the way. It originated here on this podcast. But I like Baker because he's the most accurate college quarterback. Yep. I know, obviously, he's short by quarterback standards.
Which Russell Wilson's short, Drew Brees is short.
But there's are there more?
Are there more?
Yeah. How many more?
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum's only 6 feet?
He's shorter than Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah?
When they shook hands, I was like,
He's shorter than Drew?
Shorter than Drew. Drew's like 6 foot and a couple, centimeters.
A couple Ritz
But I
crackers.
feel like it's okay, so we've got 3 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like my take. Like, I think it's a good criticism of him that he's short, but he is accurate.
Well, I think so. From what I've seen with quarterbacks that are on the shorter side, they have to play out of the shotgun a lot more, right? Rather than dropping back, rather than going underneath the center. So, that'll be one thing that that's dependent on whatever team drafts him of how they're going to handle that part. Because I think when he's at OU, he only played out shotgun, right? I think it was only a shotgun quarterback.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't see him under.
Style,
I didn't see him under center a lot.
Right.
So, and that's fine. It's just that whoever drafts him will have to understand that they'll have to have that system built in.
Do you have a problem with his off the field stuff? I'm very like.
Is it off the field though, or is it on the field?
I mean, he did try to outrun a cop with a terrible first step.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that part.
Like, he's like standing there. Your first step's gotta be quicker. If I'm an NFL team, I'm looking at that tape. Like, I feel like your first step. First of all, white privilege. Okay, let's just say it. All right, you're running from a cop. It's white privilege. Okay, that's fine. All right, we all know that. But your first step when you're running from the cops has got to be quicker than that.
He was also in cuffs. He's just drunk.
He got caught.
You haven't seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, we'll show you. He takes.
There's a video.
Yes. We all know about his on the field stuff, the crotch grabbing. Yeah.
Well, listen. Okay, let's revisit that crotch grabbing incident, because I felt strongly about that. Listen,
you were offended?
I was offended by the fact that they didn't shake his hand. Like, you don't shake my hand pregame. Oh, we're gonna handle this.
Listen, I'm with you.
Don't have me stick my hand out there and you just stand there like Mr. Tough Guy.
They were babies that chose not to shake his hand.
But the other guys
too.
They
were instructed.
No, not the babies. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but like when he got hyped was when he went to shake the baby's hand. They were like, nah, fam.
Nah, I mean, I'm not talking about the babies.
How we do it out here.
I know, but it's mad disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. I'm talking about the guys standing across. Like,
I'm with you.
They stood there like they was just.
Him. They asked for
like you asked for that. You know what I mean? So now, could he have handled that better? Yes, 100%. But I love the competitive fire that he brings to the game, because you need that. You want that from a quarterback. You know what I mean? Now, there's other avenues and ways to go about that, but I love the competitive spirit that he has.
Can you have that as? I mean, look. I want him to go to the Dolphins if we're being honest about it. Like that's my hope.
Yeah, they need a quarterback.
I agree.
For sure.
They do need a quarterback. Yeah, they do. But also, I just think I'm done with the whole, like, you can't wear your hat backwards if you're
that's stupid.
Franchise quarterback. You got to be this particular mold. And I get it. You're the guy that's talking all the time, and we give Cam Newton a lot of slack. Yeah. Not that it's not deserved for some of it. He does say
sometimes.
things like but I do think Cam wears it harder than he needs to.
Yeah.
But
I think he brings a little bit more on himself than he needs to.
Yeah.
For
Do we
sure.
have the video?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
so this is a terrible first step by Baker Mayfield.
This is him.
Oh my God!
Trying to outrun the popo.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
And he got blasted too.
The cop really. It's
Come
really
on.
a combine take for the cop.
First round draft pick. That cop.
Well, listen.
Solid tackle.
I mean, he's never been in that environment before. Most black people, we understand.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That first step got to be quick. Like, you can't just be trying to slowly get up.
First of all,
you got to start climbing.
What is your look? I don't want to break down the psychology of someone who thinks that they're going to outrun the police.
Yeah.
Okay, like
I don't understand why people still do it.
I mean, I guess if you're desperate, maybe, but you're not going to outrun the police.
No, you're not.
On foot or in vehicle.
You're not.
And like when they find you, it's worse.
Yeah,
like that's because they gonna
it's like
find
when you
you.
Run from your mother. Like
Yeah.
just take it.
Yes,
Take it because if when, but it's really when she catches you.
Yes.
She's gonna be so much more angry for having to exert energy.
I agree.
My
And
mom's
now
mad.
she's fueled. So she's like, as opposed to when
That
she
whooping
maybe,
gonna be harder.
Right.
Right. Because
You made me get up.
Here's what you've done when you run from your mother. When she originally wanted to whoop you,
Yes.
she maybe felt like some twinge of like, oh, this is my child.
Yeah.
They're just learning.
But
I gotta discipline them. When you start running, she's like, oh, bleep
I'm gonna
that.
whoop you even
That's
harder.
not-
Yeah,
She's about to get it. Like they deserve it.
coming at you.
Yes.
Yes.
You've just proven
When
to her
was
you
this?
need a whooping.
When was this?
When was
Yeah.
this?
When did that happen?
2 summers ago. Ashley would know. Ashley
Yeah.
can't
2
stand
years
Baker
ago?
Mayfield.
February
She's
25th.
TC.
So he was what, a
2017.
sophomore, freshman?
It was February 25th, 2017. So just literally last year.
Oh, it was last year?
Yeah.
This was
almost
last
anniversary.
year?
Almost the 1 year anniversary.
Oh, damn.
1 year anniversary of the worst first step ever.
Well, first of all, why was he running? Whoa, I mean, what was the nature
Intoxication arrest.
Yeah, he was
He
intoxicated.
was out here living his best life. And it was like, chill.
That's what
Okay,
they-
so this is so
That's what they call it now,
Manziel
living his
obviously
best
is
life.
who he is. Well, yeah, it was his best life until he decided that he was going to be faster than a cop.
He
that's
got
standing
blasted
right
too.
in front of him.
I'm
Oh,
actually
yeah,
more
yeah.
disappointed that he got blasted by the cop. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You out there avoiding all them
That's the best you can
athletes
do.
on the field and you get smacked by a
avoid
cop.
tackle.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's his worst tape.
That's for sure by far his worst
Like if
tape.
you were going to drop, like when you have tests and you can drop your lowest grade, drop that one.
Yes.
That is the worst tape.
And you
they
know
have
what?
on you.
Whatever team he gets drafted to,
Yeah.
if I'm like the coach, I'm gonna like make fun of him.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
gonna bring that up and make fun of him. You know what I'm
gotta play
saying?
it.
Yes.
I gotta play
I feel
that
like
versus
they
the
should just
team.
take the clip of us talking about it and play it for the entire
Yes.
team.
I'm like, you know what? And
Yeah.
listen, like
He's durable though, because that hit. That
he is
hit-
durable. That's so you got to make that point. Like he's
Right,
durable,
yeah, yes.
but we got to work on that first step. Like the first step is not where we need it to be right now.
Terrible. First step is everything.
This type
But
of
he can
tape-
take a hit though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So-
type of hit that really does make me dislike the combine though, because like there's just certain things that you can't just tell. With the combine, you gonna go through a
Right.
hit and drill.
Yeah.
Bring in the cops. We're gonna line everybody up. Who can outrun him? So he's getting compared to Manziel a lot.
Yeah.
Which I get the comparison.
Yeah.
I think that Manziel had some real actual problems.
Yep. I
That
agree.
I don't necessarily think that Baker has, but I think we talked about this last week. I think the biggest difference between the two of them is that it seems to me, like you mentioned, the competitive nature. Johnny had that too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but you could tell Johnny wanted to party.
Yes.
So I think that's the difference
still
between the two
partying.
of them. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think Baker
Yeah,
actually wants
Yeah.
to be good at football and
Yeah.
wants to win, and
Yeah.
I think Johnny enjoyed being a celebrity.
Yes, I agree. And there is a fine line between that. That for him, he's going to have to do his best at the combine and further on into his career to get away as far away from that as possible.
Is that hard to do though? Like as a young player, like say he goes somewhere like Miami. Well, you can get in trouble anywhere, but like say he goes somewhere like Miami
Yeah.
or Los Angeles or
They're gonna be
you
on
know,
him. They're gonna be looking. There's gonna be people taking pictures, and he has to just be aware of that, you know. And listen, you're not gonna get away from people pulling out cell phones, picture cameras all the time when you're in public, right? But you just have to know when you're in public and you're the new guy, you're the new kid on the block, new franchise quarterback. Like people are looking to post something negative, right? So I think if he can just understand that concept, right? Because we all forget it sometimes, right? We all forget that, you know, we live in this day and age where social media is just, you know, completely taking over everything. But if he can just understand that, then, you know, then he'll be more prepared about when he's out in public. You know, he'll be more prepared to, okay, I got to be, you know, just more aware of my surroundings. And I honestly think just keep a guy around you. always keep like that designated driver around you. You know what I mean? Because as long as you got that guy around you, you need a no man around you.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You need a no man around you until you feel like you got it.
Yeah.
You
but
know what I mean?
in today's age, the no man can't help the screenshots. Screenshot change the game.
Well, this is why screenshots.
You're 100%.
I mean, just,
You're right.
Oh, just the flush.
Yes. Yes.
Screenshots.
Yeah.
You're right.
I agree, and we were just talking about this with the Fergie national anthem disaster, and this is you are echoing.
I was actually at the game when it happened.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that? What was
So
the energy in the crowd?
this
I want
was
to know.
so this is what I kind of felt bad because they tried certain social media pages tried to spin it that all the players' reactions were from Fergie, and it wasn't. All those players were laughing because Draymond Green had his mouth wide open during the national anthem for
he was catching flies.
It felt like a minute. It literally felt like a whole minute. It was like 30 seconds.
But Draymond's looked like that since
he's always looked like
I've ever
that.
seen Draymond.
But it was just funny. It was during the national anthem, and they had the camera literally on him for 30 seconds. He didn't know. For like 20 seconds, and he finally closed his mouth and started laughing, and then everybody else started laughing.
I can't get mad at Draymond, though. My brothers tell me I do that when I watch TV.
What? Mouth open.
Yeah.
But like, bro,
They would
like,
actually try
close
and
your mouth. Like,
I know, but
you don't feel that air coming in there.
No,
like,
I don't.
Draymond Green's mouth stay open.
I apparently sleep like that also, which is very like.
You know he sleep with his mouth open, wide open.
I know I sleep like that.
Draymond slept with his mouth closed.
The scary thing about that, though, no, impossible. The scary thing about that, though, is when you sleep on airplanes.
Yes.
Like, I know I look crazy when I sleep on an airplane.
Yes.
If I sleep with my mouth open,
See,
of course.
I'm different.
I'm the person on the plane.
I always wear a hat, and then I always put the hat over my face.
Oh,
That's so
nice.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's a nice move. It works.
I always try to cover just in case. You know, I don't know how I'll be looking when I'm asleep. I'm sure it's
I know I
ugly
look
too.
crazy.
I'm sure I got an
also,
ugly
if
sleep
I'm,
face.
If I'm in coach, which is like, you know,
Stop.
it's, all right. I mean, listen, look, I'm not forking over the dollars for first class everywhere I go. I'm in coach a lot. You're like pretty much up, sitting straight up.
Yes.
You know, for those of you who don't fly on airplanes, that's how it is. And so I fall forward constantly. So I'm like this, look.
Oh, yeah.
And that is not a good look at all. Anyway.
I don't care how good you look.
No.
Like, you got an ugly sleeping face, you ugly.
No, 100%. And that's me. So there's nothing I can do about it. But we got to all that because of Fergie.
Yeah.
Fergie didn't have any no people around her. That's how that happened.
I agree 100% with that.
Good point.
Because
Just like Pink didn't have any no people around her before the Grammys for that outfit.
you know, it's funny. I said that to my wife. I was like, there's no way she checked with somebody else before she went out there and sang that. And maybe she's just at that level to where she feels like she doesn't have to. You know what I mean? Fergie.
At what level?
I said maybe she feels like that she's at that level. I ain't saying maybe she is. I'm saying maybe she feels like, because when she first started off, it sounded good. It was fine.
Yeah.
And then she hit those couple notes that was just like.
Yeah. Then she tried that.
But
remix.
during the game though, live, when I heard it, I was like, oh, sounds like she's trying to do like this Amy Winehouse thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I didn't really put too much on it. And then the more I listened to it, I was like, oh, all right, yeah, that was not good.
No, it wasn't good. Not to pile on Fergie again. I'm sure she's had a rough couple weeks.
I feel bad for her.
But she needed no person around her, and I agree with you. That is important, especially for. I mean, I tried to keep it in perspective of what a terrible human I was when I was these kids' age. Yeah. And I didn't have. I was just talking to a group of college kids not too long ago. And I'm like talking to them about how I started in the business. I'm like, yeah, we didn't have Facebook Live. I'm like, oh my God, the wrinkles. Like they didn't have Facebook Live when I was in college. It's insane. Yeah. So everything is so different now. I can't imagine being someone like Baker Mayfield you have all the same temptations. You're making an insane amount of money.
Yep.
You're super famous. Everybody wants the same things from you that say when you came in the league you had.
Yeah.
But now everybody's a reporter. Like I would,
Everybody.
if I had a party at my house and I'm one of these guys, ain't nobody coming in with no phones. There's a great big
phone.
There is a great big bucket.
Yeah.
You ain't worry about your phone getting stolen. Leave it in the car because you are not bringing a phone in the house.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, because again, social media has just changed the game. Yeah. Right. One click of a button and it's all over it's out to the world. You know, and I think if he keeps a no man around him, then he will be able, even those times where he gets drunk or he's not, completely focused on, everything, his surroundings. As long as he has a no man around him, be like, hey, listen, we gotta get out of here right now. Like, you know, you're a little drunk and people starting to take pictures or whatever stuff. Just those kind of little things can be the difference in a huge story, you know, all over the media, or you know, it never getting out to anybody at all. Because even something as simple as Baker Mayfield was drunk in a bar, you know, that's bad. You know, and even though he probably was just had a couple drinks and maybe he's a little tipsy, but that's a story.
Yeah. But also when your reputation is that, you know, and we've seen,
and you're trying to get away from
that.
Seen
that video, and you're being associated with Johnny Manziel. It's like Zeke.
Yeah.
Everything that Zeke went through, you know, whatever you think of what happened with the suspension and whether or not he did that or not, Zeke did nothing to help himself in that spot.
Nothing at all.
I don't have any sympathy for Zeke as far as his reputation goes. You had the opportunity to at least stay away from that stuff, and I get it; it's hard, but that's a sacrifice you're making when you are choosing to be an NFL player. No one's forcing you to play in the NFL. Like, this is your gift. So I would say, if you want to look at it that way, but you have the opportunity to change the narrative about yourself, and unfortunately, that means you got to starve that party life. You just can't do it.
It was a pattern of behavior with Zeke.
Right.
There was a couple things that kept happening, and again, like you said, this fell directly in line with all the signs of the pattern of behavior. You know what I mean? So, again, and I truly believe that the issue, as much as all the players tried to say like it didn't affect us, it 100% affected that team and was one of the biggest reasons why they just took a steep decline.
I'm sure.
You know, it affected Dak Prescott. Like, how different was he when he had Zeke back there as opposed to when he didn't have Zeke back there? You know what I mean? It was a completely different football team, you know? So those are the ramifications that you don't look at when you're in college or when you're coming out and you're like, oh, I can go party still and I can still do these things and fly under the radar. Like, nah, you can, bro. It's 2018. Like, social media is a beast.
And I feel do I feel bad for them? I don't know if that's like the right way to describe it, but I do feel something for them because it's a lot.
It's a different
to
animal
process. You go from being you know, in college, having people cover things up for you and stuff. Look, is it right? No, but whatever. Like, you want your handheld and have you tell the world's perfect. It's not. All right, join the rest of us. There's stuff that goes on.
Exactly.
So when things switch over and you become a professional and the spotlight is bigger and you're not playing for Ohio State, which is big, they ain't the Dallas Cowboys. Right. So there's ramifications to it. Do you think that Zeke? Who would you say is the number one running back in the NFL right now? Is it Zeke, Le'Veon?
I'm gonna say Le'Veon or Todd Gurley. You know, one of those two. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I don't think it's Zeke, just purely off the basis of the fact of what happened last year. Like, he's not. He showed me that he's not ready yet. You know, to go on and be the face of the NFL, because he could be the face of the NFL at least from the running back position anyway. You know, so what happened last year showed me, you know, whether he says it didn't happen or whether his fault or not. Like, listen, it's still your name. Your brand has still been affected. Your team was directly affected. You know what I mean? So whether you did it or you didn't do it, you affected the team and you put the team in a bad spot. And
if he was your teammate, would you have said something to him? Would you have been upset with him if everything happened?
I would have definitely spoken to him. I mean, being upset with him, I definitely would have been bothered. You know, I don't know about upset because we all make mistakes. Like, I'm not perfect. You know, I made mistakes, but you just have to make sure your mistakes don't mess up the team. You know, don't hurt the team's chances to get to the next level. You know what I mean? So, again, we've all made mistakes, and you know, I think the one thing about the NFL, you know, when you say the professional level, is that it's a professional level with young men, with young kids. You know, so we're asking these young kids, and it was even different when I got into the league because we were getting the big contracts in the first, you know. For you driving the first round, you got a big deal. You know, now it's slotted, so it's a little different. So now you actually have to go out and prove and show that I'm not this guy so that I can get paid that money.
It's true.
You know, so I think it might have been a little bit worse for, you know, before the CBA because guys were getting those big deals. But then when you I guess weigh that against social media now, you know, it just makes things tougher. So we're asking young kids to be grown men at 21 years old. Imagine when you was 21. You know what I mean? Like,
I would be very famous for all the wrong reasons.
with a bag, you know, with the bag of money. Like, imagine that
bag. That's the thing. Like you came out when you were basically a celebrity before you came into the NFL.
Yeah.
Like you had a lot. So do you think being in USC and that factory helped you and better prepare? Because low key, I was happy when you hit the league, and like I just stopped hearing about Reggie Bush because you started going into the grind.
I just started working.
Yeah.
I think it was a good thing that I got drafted by the Saints. I think it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. You know, because had I gone to Miami my rookie year, the first couple years, it might have.
New Orleans ain't no.
But it's the older team,
but
sleepy town.
the time I got there was right after Katrina,
That's
so
true.
it was a ghost town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was nobody there. Like I remember, there was like they had mandatory curfews at like 8:00.
Wow.
You know, so those first couple years, I had no choice but to dive deep into football,
Right.
you know, and to really like lose myself in the game, you know, and work on my craft. So I believe it was the best thing that could ever happen to me because it forced me to refocus and to get back to playing football and not that I got away from it, you know what I mean? But it just put me in a different mindset,
Different environment.
But I'm trying to think of like if I went to New York or to Miami or
Yeah. Well,
or back home to San Diego, oh, forget about it.
Yeah. Speaking of young men being asked to do professional things, and there's a lot of scandal going on with the NCAA and the basketball side right now.
Yep.
I don't blame any of the players. I put the full blame on the NCAA and all the adults
100%.
involved in it.
Yep.
We talked to Ryan Hollins. He had all these ideas for how to change the system. But his biggest takeaway was that he's glad this is happening because it's kind of peeling back the scab.
Just peeling back the layers from the
and
NCAA.
just exposing everybody equally, and just no longer this pretending that like these certain schools are corrupt and everybody's doing it. And, come on, everybody knows this is going on.
Right.
It shouldn't be a reveal to anyone what's happening. What do you think will fix the situation overall for the NCAA? Let's not just limit it to football or basketball.
I agree. I saw what's his name, the coach from Detroit Pistons comments about the NCAA. He said it's like one of the worst organizations in sports, and I agree with that because kids are working just as hard, if not harder, as professional athletes because they also have to go to school.
Right.
You know, they also have to, they have basically two full-time jobs. You know what I mean? And the NCAA makes all that money off these kids. They sell their likeness. They sell their jerseys. They sell commercials.
I guess on the video game.
The video game, like everything.
Crazy.
You know, and they give the kids $1,000 a month stipend. Like, what? Come on, bro. Like, what's that going to do? You know what I mean? So the coaches make all the money. You surround them with the boosters. You surround them with everything, but you tell them, but you can't have that. You can't have the one thing that we're making off of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's... Listen, that has to be one of one of the greatest like cover up cons of all time. You know what I mean? Like these kids,
racket. It's like it's like the mafia. Really,
it really is. You know, and they have a lot of issues going back to I mean, I don't know how far back, but they have a lot of things that they need to fix and I don't know if it's one answer. I don't think it's one answer. I don't think it's just as easy as paying the athletes. I think it's more than that because the NCAA has, historically, made millions and millions and millions of dollars off these kids, billions off these kids and giving them nothing. So then, you make all these money off these kids and most of them don't go pro. Like let's say, what they say for every university, like one or two kids, go on to play professionally. So the rest of those kids you made money off of, are going and trying to find 9-to-5 jobs. You know what I mean? And so you've made all this money off of them. And now they're in the street struggling to find jobs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a terrible disservice they've done for kids. I can go on and on all day about how much I don't like the NCAA.
The guys of saying like, and this is what everyone says, and it almost feels racist when I hear it, and I don't want to go there. But when it says, "Oh, they're getting education," they're getting but they're getting an education.
Right.
Are we really?
Well, because that's originally what the concept of the scholarship was built on. Like there's a fair exchange of services, but the laws of the NCAA or laws, but rules of the NCAA need to be updated.
They were written.
If you keep abiding by an antiquated law or system and you don't upgrade with the times, of course people are going to take advantage of it. And but the thing about it is, to me, the biggest thing that you just mentioned, and this is like really a take that most people don't focus on, is the kids that don't go pro.
Yes.
So we always pay attention to, this
The
kid
ones that
got
do
this
go
much
pro.
money. This kid's family got this much money.
Yeah.
This person's mom got a house or whatever. Like, what about the kids who didn't get paid, who contributed, who were great college players, but weren't going to go pro, who also made their 4-year starters, on the offensive line, who allowed, Baker to have this career. Like, what about those kids?
Yeah.
So the whole system, I think, needs to be revamped. And then aside from the boosters, you have these sneaker companies and these big sponsors who didn't exist before.
Right. Yeah.
When the NCAA first came into play.
Right. Yeah.
Like update the system.
Yeah, it has to change, and I think they're getting exposed now. Well, again, like you said, this is a good thing that this is finally happening because, we're starting to see that something has to change. Does it fall under the racial thing? Because
there's a racial tone to all this, but I think that here's my obviously I agree. There are some racial undertones going on here, but I think because you have more black athletes, it's going to disproportionately affect black athletes. So yes, that is the case. Yes. But to me, it's a level above that. You don't have diversity on the highest level. When you see these companies get into these situations, my first question is like, well, what's the room look like that approved that?
Yeah.
Because that will probably give you the answer as to why this happened. It's not rocket science. You've got all the same people from all the same place that all look the same, that are all the same age. Of course, you're going to come out with an outcome that's why should that be surprising to anyone? Of course, they all looked at it like, it looks fine. Why did that bother me?
Yes.
There's no one else in the room. And I think that's a problem with the NCAA, too, that, you need to upgrade. You need to update the whole
system. You also need different people from different cultures who can give you different perspectives.
Diversity.
And yes, diversity. There you go. One word.
I
Diversity.
I told Ryan Hollins, I said, they're talking about education. What the NCAA teaches student athletes is how to get over, how to cut corners, how to get around certain rules and regulations. I was broke in college, and I signed up for FAFSA under a family member's name, so I can get a little extra money in my pocket, so I can go out to Subway when everybody else going out to Subway.
My rent, I'll never forget, man. My rent from my best friend now, we're roommates, was $1,480. We split it. That's $740 a piece. Well, our stipend check was $1,000 a month, so we only had $260 left over in LA.
Yeah, and like imagine like when you think back about it now.
Yeah, and it's
it's hilarious to even think of. Like it's a joke.
Yeah.
You've got Reggie Bush paying rent. USC has Reggie Bush paying rent. Why the bleep is Reggie Bush paying rent? Like, you should not be paying rent.
Yeah, and
the amount of money that you're making that school, that you're making the NCAA, and you have to use $700 of your stipend to pay rent is a joke.
$740. Add the extra $40 in it.
Manti had their shirts in the Notre Dame bookstore with the number 5 and Hawaiian lace on it in multiple different colors.
Wow.
Our main primary colors. And
but y'all don't have nothing to do with Hawaii.
Talk about the likeness of it. Like, that's the perfect example of the likeness.
The likeness thing is what makes me the most crazy out of all of it. Like, the fact that you can't sign a piece of paper and charge someone for it is, there's so many insane things to it, but that is really crazy to me. Okay, well.
And then mind you, all those people who you signing those, they're going to selling that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I never
Everybody's
forget in
making
college.
money except for you.
In college, I was signing autographs. I just knew this guy was about to go sell it. You know what I mean? Because he got like 6-7 things, and
oh yeah.
The college, you like, all right, he about to go make some money off of me right now.
He tells, be careful with it. Don't get too much.
He signed in the blue. No, let me get the blue one.
They like it.
They signing the blue.
The hack
Okay.
is you got to ask them who you're signing it to.
Yeah.
If it's to Nick, then
there's too many people coming by anyway.
Yeah, so that's adding extra time. I know. When you get caught in an autograph scrum, Brandon, you know.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to move them along
There's
quick.
a time where I was good in high school football. You know what I mean? Played an All-American game, sign autographs.
All right, lots of good stuff today. Before we let you go, Super Bowl prediction for next year.
Damn, we're already doing this?
What, Joy? Toughest question.
We're already doing the Super Bowl predictions.
Oh, my God.
I want to let you go with a softball.
Sheesh. I'm going to say
I'm really asking you this because do you think that Philadelphia is going to be back there? Because everybody's super high in Philadelphia, and I didn't.
I think it's just too hard to get back. So Philadelphia surprised a lot of people this year. They're not going to surprise anybody next year. Everybody's gonna be gunning for him.
You gotta lose all them underdog masks.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, ain't no more underdogs.
Well,
they ain't won that no more.
No underdog no more.
We're forgetting the fact that Carson Wentz is going to be back and healthy.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
No, we forgot that.
But if any team has the best chance to get back, it would be them. But I just knowing football and knowing how hard it is to get back, because now they're gonna see everybody's A+ game, not A game. They'll see everybody's A+ game.
Nobody's underestimating you anymore.
No, everybody's gonna have that game circled on their calendar and looking to knock them off and looking to prove that we could beat the defending champs. So I don't think they'll be back. I think they have as good a shot as any, but I don't think it's gonna be Philly. So I think I can just throw anybody in there. I don't know, the Saints. I'm gonna say the Saints.
Saints. I was just in New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
I don't want to say Patriots.
They're favored again.
Yeah,
They're gonna be back.
You kind of.
Yeah,
And he's playing.
It depends
if
on.
dude's playing, you got to put him in there.
It depends on what happens with Le'Veon Bell. If he's back in Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh has a shot.
Listen, I love Pittsburgh, but they just can't get it together. I don't know what it is.
Do you think that he'll be back in Pittsburgh?
I do, but I think Ben is 1 foot out, 1 foot in.
Yeah.
He's been talking about retiring for like 2 years now, which is fine. Like that's people retire.
Yeah.
But
unless he changes up his diet, he may be out in the middle of the season.
Look, I mean,
I don't wish no bad on nobody.
Ben's been that way though, and Ben likes to take a hit now. Ben will hold the ball all day and just take that sandwich right on the ground.
I can't imagine what his body's gonna be like in 15, 20 years.
Man,
I mean, after and then this guy, every time he gets injured, right? He'll have surgery and we back out there next week. I'm like, how did you just get surgery on your knee and then you out there playing 2 weeks later or a week later? How do you do that? Vibranium. Oh, the vibranium from. I need some of that vibranium.
Yeah.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little jealous. I was like, damn, I hope that really exists at some point.
I get some vibranium. You know what I'm saying? Be right here
Fix
running like Reggie Bush.
Why didn't they use the vibranium to save Killmonger though?
Yeah. No? I was actually hoping at the end that he was gonna live and that they were gonna join forces.
Yeah,
I was actually hoping that.
I feel like I don't know. I'm not a big enough comic book nerd to know if Killmonger's really dead, but I'm hoping.
Well, he died. Right?
Yeah, but the other guy almost died, right?
Yeah, he did. Though.
And then, okay, last question.
They didn't want to maybe in the sequel with White Wolf.
They can do whatever they want to do.
What's
in the
homie's
movies.
name? White Wolf.
Bucky.
Who?
White Wolf was Bucky.
Oh, he gonna cause some problems.
The big dude.
No. After the credit ends, you talking about
Winston Duke. His real name is Winston Duke. Though.
I know. What's his
Mbaku. Yeah. The big dude.
Oh yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to push when white people talk out of turn.
Yo, that was so funny.
How much fraternity influence was on that entrance, though? I mean, because that took me right back to college days.
It did.
Speaking of that, Fox is having a Black History barbecue on the lot today, which I think is hilarious. I mean, which is great.
A barbecue? They're going to play...
I can't wait to go.
A barbecue. They're going to play Summertime with Will Smith.
Should I be offended that I haven't gotten an email about this?
It's right outside.
In all fairness, I don't check my emails.
In the email, they said, wear your... if you went to HBCU, wear your hoodie. Or, wear your favorite... And I'm like...
I was waiting for you to say, wear your dashiki.
Oh, my God. That's what I'm saying. I'm waiting to go out there and see what kind of... African-American
everybody has them now because
celebrate.
everyone's hype over Black Panther.
Oh, yes.
Well, wait, why? Okay, so at the end, I love the movie, but why did he bring him up to the great sunset so he could die?
Because his father, who was
sunsets are beautiful.
No, I understand why, but
no, I got you.
Why? The dude was already dead. You care about him getting able to see the sunset.
It's brotherly love. The whole thing is
just let him soft dude. You know what I'm saying? Me and T'Challa.
Light skin. Light skin. You see what happened? Light skins they out.
I told her. I said last episode.
Right here.
No.
Dark skin, dog. You see what happened?
Killmonger.
That was a power.
I said a lot.
You see what happened? You see what happened?
I said last week there was not a lot of Jesse Williams in Wakanda. I'm going to put it out there.
Not a lot of light skin.
A lot of dark skin dudes. You know what I'm saying? How many? You ain't seen them light skin dudes in there.
No, nothing that even look like
real, rough, tough, You gotta go dark skin the whole way. Wesley Snipes. Who
Shout out to
else?
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes versus Denzel.
Blade.
I liked all of it. I
Blade,
wish that I wish they could have saved Killmonger though. Michael B. Jordan fan though. So
You're not one?
of course I am.
Oh, okay.
All the girls are. Man, let's go. Let's end this
You're
show right
done
now.
on that note.
Let's go ahead and end the show.
Thank you so much for joining us. You were great. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Reggie Bush for joining us. He was great. Really appreciate him talking about the NCAA as well. Hope you enjoyed that. And have a great weekend. Make sure you subscribe so you can check us out next week.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy.